Hi, I'm Mr. Miyagi, and this is Mr. Miyagi's Workshop. Well, I know I promised you guys a video of my next road trip, and that was to go do the Idaho oil pan Punisher. Well, everything was going great the first day I took off, which was a Thursday back on the 27th of August. They had over a day earlier or so I could do some fishing and have some fun. Well, I didn't make it to the fishing hole. And you ask, why didn't I make it to the fishing hole? Well, I had a slight accident. And you say slight, and I'm going, slight. Yeah, I kind of messed up the old dual sport bike. Front end damage. Side bag damage. Tank was damaged up here. Bedroll thing I had on the front of the bike. Hang on, I'll show you. My bedroll cover for the front of the bike, a little bit damaged. My riding gear, and we'll do some close-ups of those. So I damaged my helmet. I damaged my climb jacket because I slid down the road, and my climb pants. Point here, people, is to have good gear, and thank goodness I had good gear. I came out of this with limited damage. I'm hoping. I still can't lift my arms very high. This one I can go pretty high with. This one here, not so much. But got some stitches in my hand. This got all screwed up a little bit. Bunged up my toe on my left foot. Literally punched a hole in the boot. Yeah. We're not sure how I got punched in there, but yeah. The idea is I probably, when I went down, the bike went into a flip. And that's how this got smashed. Now you ask, well, why did I go down? Well, I was riding through an area where there are lots of wind gusts. And I got hit with a side gust, and I'm thinking from both sides, and it put me into a high-speed wobble. I did everything I could to slow that down. I did the old throttle up to see if I could snap it out of it. I did the touch on the brakes, front and rear, just touching them. And the last thing I remember was riding an ambulance. Now, my GoPro, which was still mounted on the front of the bike, which survived this, surprisingly, did get a picture of me walking around the bike after the accident. I don't remember a thing about that. I hit pretty hard, and apparently I was knocked unconscious. And I slid down the road on my gear, which I'll show you here in a little bit, the damage, what happened to the jacket and to the pants. But my whole point here is, once again, buy good gear when you're out there, because if you go down, you want to stay contained in a package and protected. All right. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're wearing good gear, because you don't want to be out there wearing a pair of cutoffs, flip-flops, and a tank top, because if you were, you'd be mangled mess. I came out of it not so bad. This is a week later. This is all healing up nicely. I'm going to have the stitches pulled out of my hand here next week sometime. But if that was a regular, somebody wearing flip-flops and shorts and a tank top, I'd be a mangled mess. Another thing, it's having a damn good helmet. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there like your little Dixie Cup helmets, and they're great. And, you know, they're light, they're easy, and you look cool as crap out there. But if you're sliding down the road in your face, what happens? You're going to chaw that sucker right off there. It's going to be ground down to hamburger. So full face helmets are always the best. Yeah, I know they're not the coolest thing on the earth, and I've heard every excuse. I can't see as well. I can't hear as well. And I say garbage. Garbage. This is what saved my head in this beautiful profile. So anyway, get back to it. Having a good helmet, good gear to wear, good boots is a plus in your way to surviving any accident on the road. And the only trauma that I actually received during this whole thing is that I smashed this knuckle against the ground and scraped up this hand pretty good. I believe that most likely because I didn't have my my little rear strap on, that the glove came off and I hit my hand. This arm here, I think the jacket slid back and this just got ground a little bit on the road of me rolling and such. But a good pair of gloves, either knuckle gloves, I like these a lot. They do save your knuckles. They save this hand, not so much this hand. But, you know, that's one thing. Here again, good gloves. Go along with your gear. Foot gear. The only trauma that I got on my foot, and we were trying to decide whether it was the shifter or the kickstand knob, and we believe it's the kickstand knob that actually literally punctured through to my big toe, which I may or may not lose the nail on it. We'll see. It's good and bruised and such, and it was kind of bloody mess when they took me into the hospital. But this got ground down pretty good, so I have no idea. Here again, though, good pair of boots. These are Danners. They worked well. They kept my feet somewhat survivable. I do have a little bit of on my ankle, I do have a little bit of a nubbins there, but yeah, I'll survive. The only other trauma that I had was probably a little bit of neck injury and my shoulder when I hit the ground pretty hard. And that was due to the fact, I think, that I actually really flipped through the air and such. But having on the climb jacket with all the padding on it, it's a good deal. I'm upright and standing here. I'm 70 years old and I lived through and walked away from this damn thing. If I hadn't had the gear on, I don't think I would have walked away. So who knows? So my plans for doing a fair amount of road trips on the bike have changed a little bit, as you can see. I think what we're going to do is we're going to get into seeing how we can save this old bike. Didn't they have a house like that? But I think, you know, we'll walk through stages. We'll get this up on the work table and I'll go through the stages of stripping it down and determining what's damaged and what isn't, whether the frame is bent in any area or whatever. You can see the comp where I hit fairly hard. It just pushed the light bucket down and the speedo and tack up into the handlebars. I am going to make a larger tank for this. whether I modify this tank and make it bigger. I want to try to get rid of the back fuel tank here and see if I can't eliminate that and maybe put a small rack back here for gear. The boxes, these tusk boxes, they took some hell of a abuse. Let me show you the right side bag here. They took the brunt of what really kind of went down, so I'm pretty impressed with them. I ordered another set of those. I'm going to try and repair these, but I thought it just, you know, the price on them are fairly reasonable, so I just ordered another set. The frames are in great shape, and actually the whole bike, compared to what damage it did receive, is in still pretty good shape. Now, I have not started it up yet. We blew a couple of fuses underneath the seat. When I get it on the table, when I do that episode on do the teardown, we will fire the bike up, or try to fire the bike up and see if there's any damage to the engine. I don't believe so. So we'll go from there. Anyway, yeah, gonna kind of slow down on the camping. I'm still gonna end up doing some off-road stuff, but I got to get the bike fixed first. So, and we may be doing some four-wheel driving episodes too, just for the shits and giggles. And I got to do a little bit of fly fishing because I didn't get any fly fishing done this trip. Only thing I got done that was flying was me. So if this episode, if you like this episode, and if you like the rest of my episodes, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that ringy-dingy button. And by golly, I hope to see you guys back on the road here again fairly soon. And like I said, we're going to do another episode on saving this old bike.